So this is my second video on, let me name this series. I'm glad to see you all here back again today. If you're new, hi. You can call me Miss Dentista. If you were here the last video, thank you for coming back. I missed you. We're gonna get into today the DAT. Let's get it. That is like the monster of exams for pre-dents. For me, that was a monster. I was very anxious. It's a big exam. It covers a lot of information. It covers biology, all natural sciences, so biology, general chemistry, organic chemistry. It covers PA, which is perceptual ability. It covers quantitative reasoning, which is maths. And it's like math that is like a math that I personally haven't used since grade school, or maybe algebra and stuff like that, like the first 2 years of undergrad, I would say. And it covers also reading comprehension. So we're gonna start with preparing for the DAT. How did I prepare? Before I even get into that, I will tell you my stats from the DAT. So for me, I got a 17 on the DAT. Yes, I know, it's not like fantabulous. It's not like a 22, 21. That's what I'm saying. And I still got into 3 schools. That's what I keep telling you guys. You're gonna be okay. So I did my master's degree program, and between my first and second year, the summer between those, I had one summer class in the beginning of the first half of summer, which is like, it made it, I shouldn't have done that, but I did it, and I still am here. So yeah, so I did it between the summer of between my first and second year of my master's degree program. I used DAT Booster and DAT Bootcamp. For DAT Booster, I learned in a very unique way. I couldn't just use one or the other because the way one platform taught me didn't work, but the way the other platform like did their exams didn't feel like it was hard enough. So for me, I used DAT Bootcamp for their videos. I love their interface of like the videos with the little quizzes between each section. It kept me in tune, kept me focused the whole time, like a little game you play here. I saw where I was actually grasping information and where I wasn't grasping as I went. And I like that. I learned very well using those videos and those little quizzes between each video. And then at the end of each video, it's like these big question banks too that you have for each section. I like that too. I use that a lot of the time. It's fun to play, kind of like a game. For DAT Booster, I use them for their exams. I will tell you, from my own personal experience, their exams were more, I took both Booster and Bootcamp exams, but I feel like Booster's exams, from my own point of view, from the tests I took for my DAT, the Booster exams were more identical to the real life exam. Like I would see either exact same concept of a question or the exact question on a DAT with the DAT Booster. And I took the DAT and did my DAT Booster and Bootcamp in 2023. So this was like a year ago. So I feel like it's pretty up to date with telling you guys that. So yes, that's how I learned. I learned better with the videos from Bootcamp, and then I tested better with the exams. They were harder for me personally on Booster. And I feel like the grading from Booster was accurate when it came to the DAT. With studying for the DAT, I studied from May to August, about 4 months. And during that time, I took a class during the summer for a month, and I had to go to a family reunion back in my home state for about a week. So I was doing a lot, and I managed to get a 17. The hardest one for me was to study for was natural sciences, because you have to I had to go over the things that I learned years ago, and refresh on that stuff. Tips for studying on DAT. Okay, I would say definitely start with the natural sciences. Treat those as if like sometimes, a lot of you guys are coming from undergrad too, and some are coming like I was, non-traditional. If you are coming from undergrad, it won't be as hard for you to refresh your mind on stuff. But for me, it was a bit of time since I had those classes, so I had to kind of like relearn some things or remember some things. My biggest advice when it comes to the DAT is study every section. Do not go light on any section because you feel like, oh, I got this, I don't need to worry about that. Like at least refresh it over it once a week or something. At least go over it once in a while, because don't do what I did. That's the reason why I have a 17. I would have had a 19 or a 20 if I had just refreshed over quantitative reasoning. The DAT math isn't like regular math. It's timed, it's a lot of questions in one go, and it's all about, the DAT itself is not about do you know it as per se. It's more about technique and strategy with your knowledge so you can get things done in an efficient amount of time. As a dentist, you gotta do that. You gotta be able to put things down and organize the situation and problem in that moment and get it resolved quickly and like swiftly and efficiently. So that's what DAT is kind of testing you on, if you can do that. So with general chemistry, I studied with Chad's general chemistry videos and stuff. That he really helped me a lot with general chemistry, understanding concepts. Boot camp was fine, but I just needed more hand holding with that when I first started, because I was pretty like, I was stressed and worrying about the DAT. It was a lot, okay? So I needed some more hand holding, and Chad's videos definitely helped with general chemistry. And I believe he also did organic chemistry, if I'm not mistaken, and that also helped me as well. Helped me understand at least the basics so I can branch off, no pun intended, with that. When it came to reading comprehension, with studying reading comprehension, that's all about building that stamina, or finding the technique or strategy that works best for you and getting faster at it, repetitively practicing and practicing and practicing, because that's what I had to do. When I first started it, I couldn't clear it in time. Like the last story, I was like still trying to get the last question in and just guessing on the last ones because I couldn't get through it. I realized where I was lacking on. I was reading too in-depthly, I guess you can say, on the stories, instead of like quickly going through it and just getting what I need as I went. And you learn how to do it the more you practice. So that's practice and timing. Same with PA, perceptual ability, practicing. I treat it like a game. You know how you play video games or arcade games per se? You play arcade games, and the more you play it, the quicker you get it, better you get at it, or whatever. Same with PA. So the more I practice like the angles, the cube counting, the keyhole, the more I practiced that, the faster I got, the better I got at them. Also, I got better at knowing which sections I'm faster at. So once you know which sections you are faster at, you are able to know what order you can go in when you come into the DAT. In the DAT, you can choose which part you go into first in the PA. So every section is organized separately. It's natural sciences, PA, reading comprehension, and quantitative reasoning. Yes, so when you get to each section, you have a certain amount of time for each section. When it comes to PA, you have a certain amount of time, but you can go into each one whatever order you want, because it's all in one line, and one line of questioning, you just hop through. The only thing you can't tell, like from the list of questions, it's a question 1, question 2, question 3, you can't actually tell where the sections start or don't, but you can tell by doing research of how many questions are per section. What I did was I went through and clicked through each one to see where certain sections stopped, and I made a mental note of that, or I wrote it down on my little paper. So you don't get during the DAT, you get a piece of paper that is like laminated, and for me, I got a laminated piece of paper with a dry erase marker, and you can't erase anything. And once you write down whatever, you gotta leave it there, and then once it's full, you gotta raise your hand to come and clean it up for you. So that's how it was for me. But anyway, I just kept note of like where certain sections stopped and continued, so that I knew where I could start at. For me, I think the fastest one for me was angles, hole punching, cube counting, pattern folding, and then keyholes. That's the order I went into. That's the fastest that it goes for me. I go fastest at one, and then as it goes longer, I need more time. But because I went fast in the earlier ones, I have more time for the slower ones that I'm at. You see? So that's what I did for PA. But like I said, it's like a game. The more you practice it, the faster you get, the less you gotta worry. Quantitative reasoning. The monster. With quantitative reasoning, I should have studied more, because it's stuff you can get easily if you just practice it and you go over the questions and the type of questions. So they have a certain type of questions that they use. Money, is proportions, is probability, that kind of stuff. You just practice it and you'll be fine. But once I did, and also it's the last section of the whole DAT. So you went through all these questions, and at the very last section, you're mentally tired and everything. Like I said, this exam is not only about your knowledge, but your stamina and your efficiency with the time you have and then the knowledge you have. That's why they have full practice exams, because it helps you to build that stamina to sit down there for like 5 hours. The more you practice the full exams, the more you can handle taking that quantitative reasoning section at the very end. With that, you just practice the concepts and keep going over the formulas, because they don't give you any formulas. You have to memorize them, you know? So, but yeah, it wasn't too bad, nothing to be scared of. It's just all about prep, and I should have prepped better, so please prep better than I did. The DAT is not a monster, as big of a thing as you may think or feel it is right now. I know when I was prepping for my DAT, I had a lot of anxiety. I had nights where I couldn't sleep. I had to take melatonin and chamomile tea before bed so I can go to sleep. I wake up in a panic all the time. Like, it was bad. Like, I was in my head. Like, it was bad. But I promise you, you can do this. You have a lot inside of you that's helping you to be able to do what you're doing right now, okay? So is the road the easiest? No, but it's worth it. And I know you've got it, because we're here with me. We're here together, okay? So yes, so keep going, keep pushing. Any other questions with the DAT, feel free to comment and ask me, or DM me on Instagram. I got you guys, and yeah, have a blessed day.